At 103, Kirk Douglas reveals the 7 most evil actors in Hollywood. Kirk Douglas was born Iser Daniel on December 9, 1916 in Amsterdam, New York. He rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most iconic and enduring figures in Hollywood history. The son of poor Jewish immigrants from Belarus, Douglas grew up in a working-class household where life was often difficult and opportunity scarce. Despite the hardships of poverty, he was instilled with a fierce sense of determination, resilience, and ambition, qualities that would define his personal life and professional career. From a young age, Douglas displayed a remarkable work ethic, excelling academically while simultaneously taking on odd jobs to help support his family, a testament to the grit and perseverance that later became synonymous with his on-screen characters. Douglas's journey to stardom began with his pursuit of acting, a path that was far from guaranteed. He attended St. Lawrence University, where he studied drama and cultivated his craft before serving honorably in the United States Navy during World War II. His military service not only demonstrated his bravery and sense of duty, but also deeply influenced the depth and intensity he brought to his acting roles. Following the war, Douglas honed his skills in theater, performing in a variety of stage productions that allowed him to explore the nuances of human emotion and character development. This rigorous training laid the foundation for a film career that would span more than 6 decades, during which he became known for his powerful presence, magnetic energy, and extraordinary versatility as an actor. Kirk Douglas achieved fame in the late 1940s and 1950s, becoming a quintessential leading man in Hollywood. His breakout performance in Champion 1949, for which he received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, showcased his intensity, charisma, and willingness to take on morally complex characters. Over the years, Douglas delivered unforgettable performances in classics such as Ace in the Hole, 1951, The Bad and the Beautiful, 1952, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, 1954, and the epic Spartacus, 1960, directed by Stanley Kubrick. In Spartacus, not only did he portray the heroic gladiator who led a slave revolt, but he also played a pivotal role in challenging the Hollywood blacklist by crediting blacklisted screenwriter Dalton Trumbo, demonstrating his commitment to justice and the betterment of the industry. Douglas's ability to portray both rugged toughness and profound vulnerability made him a versatile star whose appeal transcended generations. Beyond his accomplishments as an actor, Kirk Douglas was also a successful producer, director, and author, exemplifying a rare combination of talent, ambition, and entrepreneurial spirit. He co-founded Brina Productions, giving him creative control over many of his films, and proved that he could navigate the business side of Hollywood with as much skill as he displayed on screen. His literary works, including memoirs such as The Ragman's Son, 1988, and Kirk and Letters of Love, Laughter, and A Lifetime in Hollywood, 2020, offered readers intimate glimpses into his life, thoughts, and the personal philosophy that guided him through both triumph and tragedy. Even in his later years, Douglas remained intellectually active, continuing to write, speak, and engage with fans around the world, leaving a legacy that extended far beyond the silver screen. Kirk Douglas's personal life, particularly his marriages, reflects both the complexities of human relationships and the evolution of his own character over time. His first marriage was to Diana Dill, a talented Bermudian actress and model. The two met in the early 1940s, a time when Douglas was still an aspiring actor navigating the challenges of Hollywood while trying to establish a name for himself in a fiercely competitive industry. They married in 1943, and their union was emblematic of the hopes and dreams of young couples during that era, seeking love and stability, even as the world was engulfed in the turmoil of World War II. Diana Dill, coming from a prominent family in Bermuda, brought a certain elegance and grace to their partnership, complementing Douglas's intense ambition and raw energy. During their years together, they shared the joys and struggles of early married life, facing the pressures of Douglas's budding career, which required long hours, frequent travel, and an ever-present public scrutiny. Their marriage produced 2 sons, Michael and Joel, both of whom would go on to forge their own paths in the arts and entertainment. Despite their shared love and family, the marriage eventually succumbed to the strains inherent in Douglas's rising stardom and the challenges of balancing personal and professional life. After 8 years together, the couple divorced in 1951, a decision that, while painful, allowed both individuals to grow independently and pursue their own life trajectories. Following the end of his first marriage, Kirk Douglas found love again with Ann Bidens, a European-born philanthropist and film producer who would become his lifelong partner. They married in 1954, just a few years after his divorce from Diana Dill, marking the beginning of one of Hollywood's most enduring and admired marriages. And Bidens, originally from Germany, brought a blend of sophistication, intelligence, and cultural awareness that complemented Douglas's larger-than-life personality. Together, they built a partnership grounded in mutual respect, shared values, and a deep commitment to family and social causes. Their marriage endured for more than 6 decades, a remarkable achievement in an industry often marked by fleeting relationships and public scandals. Throughout their time together, Ann was not just a spouse, but a confidant and collaborator, supporting Douglas through the highs and lows of his career, while also establishing her own legacy in philanthropy and humanitarian work. The couple became known for their generosity, hosting charitable events and dedicating themselves to causes ranging from children's health to global humanitarian efforts. Their relationship was characterized by a profound sense of loyalty and enduring love, demonstrating that despite fame and fortune, personal connection and shared purpose could create a lasting bond. At an astonishing age of 103, Hollywood icon Kirk Douglas, whose career spanned decades of success in cinematic history, publicly disclosed his own personal list of the 7 most evil actors he had ever met throughout a lifetime in Tinseltown. A man known for biting wit, a larger-than-life personality, and unflinching honesty, Douglas didn't mince words when sharing what he knew about the dark side of the film industry. Hollywood has always had its saints and sinners, he said with a chuckle. But these 7, well, they were something else entirely. Each actor on the list came with a unique story. Not only did the stories epitomize Kirk Douglas's personal experiences, but they also gave a very rare look behind the polished veneer of Hollywood glamour. The first on Douglas' list was none other than Marlon Brando, the great method actor whose talent was undisputed, but whose personal behavior on set could be as volatile as it was destructive. Marlon had a brilliance that could light up a room, Douglas said, but it was accompanied by a selfishness that often left chaos in its wake. He demanded the world revolve around him, and he wasn't above sabotaging anyone who got his way. Douglas recalled instances on the film set where Brando's temper and unpredictable actions caused delays and tension among cast and crew members, which really showcased Brando's complexity both as an artist and a person. Next, Douglas turned his attention to Errol Flynn, the swashbuckling star whose off-screen exploits often rivaled his on-screen adventures. Errol was charming, fearless, and a total menace to anyone who didn't go along with his schemes, Douglas explained. He recounted how Flynn's reckless lifestyle and penchant for scandal made him difficult to work with, and often embroiled productions in controversy. Yet, Douglas admitted, there was an undeniable charisma about Flynn that made him almost impossible to resist, illustrating the paradox in his evilness, a mix of personal recklessness and magnetic appeal. Among others, he singled out Elizabeth Taylor, whose dazzling beauty and immense talent were often overshadowed by her notorious personal life. Elizabeth could be cruel in ways that were almost surgical, Douglas observed. She was a fame-wielding weapon, manipulating situations and people to serve her interests. He reflected on the fierce rivalries and dramas that often surrounded Taylor, both on set and off, describing her as a force of nature whose personal intensity sometimes crossed into malevolence. For John Wayne, Douglas's commentary contained a note of irony. The Duke was larger than life, a man of principle. Still, he had a stubbornness and a rigidity that could make him, well, unkind, to put it gently, Douglas said. He acknowledged the legendary status of Wayne as an icon of American cinema. At the same time, noting that his